Time to talk some Thursday night football. So let's get it started with the Tennessee Titans at the Green Bay Packers. Titans are 3-point underdogs in Lambeau. The total is 41. And Stuck, I am pretty sure that you're going to be betting against the Titans here.
You bet. Yeah, Green Bay came through for me last week. I'm now 9-0 on Packers games this year.
Woo!
I love them. But yeah, this is a Titans team that we could go on and on about, how fortunate they've been. I mean, by the way, they have on the season, what are they? They're 6-3, and they have wins over Washington with Wentz in a game they should have lost. Wentz got stopped at the goal line. Indianapolis twice, got outplayed in both. Houston, deserved win. Denver, a little bit of fluky win. And the Raiders. Those are their wins this year. Those teams are combined 15, 30, and 2. It's also a short week, less prep for their script, which has been great all season. And it's, they're going on the road. Packers are staying home. The Packers are the better team. Thursday night usually favors the team in that circumstance. And Titans 30th in EPA per play and success rate after the first quarter. Their defense has a ton of injuries. This is their sense of urgency for the Packers here. Pretty much, every game is like a must win for them. Titans are like sitting comfy in first place in that division by like 4 games if you include the tiebreaker. So I think how that matters is like a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, maybe he sits out instead of plays on a short week. They're already missing a ton of defenders. So I like what I saw from the Packers last week. Made some schematic changes on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of effort just there in a must win. They've still been extremely unlucky. More fourth down misses. That's coming. But Christian Watson finally hitting some explosive plays, maybe opens up that offense. And yeah, the Titans last week, like they're not just going to keep. Look, you got to give a ton of credit to Raybon, who always overperforms. Ryan Stonehouse, by the way, the punter, basically won him that game last week. He was amazing. He's going to be an all-pro rookie potentially. And kid's got just a bomb leg. But they're not going to keep having these things happen to them, like Wentz at the one, Washington doesn't get in. They get a long touchdown last week because 2 Broncos defenders run into each other, leaving someone wide open on a flea flicker. Like, just everything is going their way. That's not going to last forever. And this is arguably the unluckiest team in the NFL versus the luckiest. Just look at fourth downs alone. Fourth downs, the Titans are averaging 1.4 EPA per play on fourth downs. They're about 65%. The Packers are negative 1.5 on, I think, 17 fourth down. That's like they've lost like 35 points, expected points on fourth downs. And by the way, that shouldn't happen for a team that's like 3rd in the NFL in rushing success rate with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Just tons of fluky things on fourth downs, which swing games for both of these teams that aren't going to build a lot of margin. Same thing goes with Tennessee in the red zone. They're not going to keep scoring at an 80% clip with a worse offensive line, one of the worst wide receiver groups in the NFL. So yeah, I played the Pack early, would play up to a juice 3. I wouldn't lay anything, which is what it's at now. I wouldn't lay anything more than that, just because this is probably going to be a low scoring game. Field goal is just so important. Packers aren't a type of team that's going to win with margin, but I think the spot sets up for Green Bay here to get some bounces and build on what they did last week against a banged up Tennessee defense.
Yeah, I've definitely had my doubts about the Packers. I think this is a game where they're going to have to kind of show, if they're okay, like if their offense is okay, I think they have to show it in this spot because last week, great win against the Cowboys, but that was Christian Watson kind of taking over that game. Aaron Rodgers, I think, completed 10 passes for like 100 yards. To everyone else, they didn't throw very much, but they did run for, I think it was 200, like over 200 yards, Jones and Dillon combined. So this Titans defense is one of the best in the league against the run. So I don't think they're going to be able to get away with that same kind of script in this one. So we're going to have to see, with Watson, that passing offense kind of step it up and be consistent, I think, for, closer to 4 quarters than they have been in the past. So I'll be
Yeah,
looking
but
forward to
they
that one.
played like, I mean, Tennessee, yeah, their run defense numbers are good. Also, like Simmons might not play. They have a ton of guys on IR now on defense. I think Dupree is out. You know, Landry's already out. Cunningham's on IR. I think Simmons is going to like sit, and they've faced a cake schedule of rush offenses. I mean, look, they played Kansas City, who can't run it, Denver, who can't run it, Houston, Indianapolis, whose offensive line is a mess, Washington, Vegas, Buffalo, who can't run it. Like those are their last 7 games. Overall, too, the Titans have played one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Packers have played one of the tougher ones, which I think plays into this as well. So I think that those Titans run defense numbers are a little inflated. They're definitely getting pressure. Their defensive line, that's been a key to their defense. But offensively, I just can't see them moving the ball consistently here. Henry's going to get his a little bit, but Green Bay basically played like last week. They played the Titans on steroids. They played a better offensive line, a better quarterback, you know, and a really good running back with
Now
way
Titans
better
ain't turning the
receivers
ball over, and the Titans ain't missing out on those red zone chances though. But yeah,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like a team that can really run the ball.
Yeah.
And you know, they just loaded the box, and they won't have to really worry about Tennessee throwing the ball here. And I really liked what I saw from Green Bay offense last week against a better, like the Dallas defense is better than Tennessee across. It's one of the best in the NFL. And if you look at that box score, I mean, nothing fluky about. And like I said all year, Green Bay's been outplaying their opponents and just getting unlucky in a number of these games. Last week, they outplayed Dallas. You know, if you look yards per play, total yards, however you want to slice it. And yeah, they got a couple breaks. They also didn't, you know, had a couple breaks go against them. And I just think that they're overly due for some good breaks, and Tennessee is on the opposite. And yeah, I like Green Bay in this spot. Definitely under 3. Now, by the time if you're listening to this, if it's over 3, so I think the Packers are taking a ton of sharp money here. Tennessee is really good in the first quarter. Now they have reduced time here to build their script, but if Tennessee jumps out, you might, you know, if it's over 3, maybe you want to money line parlay it with like the Ravens. I think it's safe, but if not, you can wait to see if Tennessee jumps out. And what we've seen all year long is this Tennessee offense is incapable of scoring after the first quarter. And I mean, I think they went the first 5 weeks of the year without scoring in the fourth quarter. So I think it would be a good opportunity to then jump in on Green Bay under a field goal if Tennessee, you know, even if they go up 3-0 or 7-0 early.
Yeah, Tennessee looks like they're going to kick the tires on Josh Lambo, who is finally getting another shot after that Urban Meyer debacle last year. So that'll be interesting. It's an interesting battle of the trends. You have Rodgers at Lambeau as a favorite of 6 points or less, 32, 11 and 1, 74% against the spread. And then you have Raybon on the other side as a dog of a field goal or more, 20 and 7, also 74% against the spread. So should be a good one. I lean to the under as well. Also, I think the Titans defense
Teams.
Yeah, the slowest actually, 31 and 32 in situation neutral pace. I do think the Titans are going to be able to have more success defensively than the Cowboys did last week against the Packers. And, you know, you already talked about how the Titans, you know, they live in the red zone, and they've been getting kind of lucky. I don't know if they can put together offense consistently for 4 quarters. It's usually just kind of either a splash play from Henry, or last week, as we saw, some Westbrook-Akina, who does have a good matchup again, I think, because now it looks like the Packers are playing Douglas on the outside. So that leaves the slot. I think they're using Savage in the slot, if I'm not mistaken, but I wouldn't be surprised Westbrook-Akina is their leading receiver yet again.